with this. I've talked about Kanye West for far too long. Moving on to the last topic. What's the last thing that I had on the agenda?
That the DC movies have now hired on James Gunn and Peter Safran to lead their film and television division for DC.
Yeah, the main topic of the day. Sorry, I keep saying week because I'm so used to only doing this once a week, but I'm going to try to get back in the habit of 3 times a week. Hey, look, the stream is just live and on time now. It's really humming. The main topic of today is James Gunn being named the head of DC film division, just like Marvel, and with Peter Safran. Just like how Kevin Feige is a head of Marvel Studios, Warner Brothers has decided to give DC its own movie studio instead of just having it being under Warner Brothers movies. They called it the DCEU, but it was still just under Warner Brothers. They didn't have their own separate little space. This is all DC movies here. Don't mess with these guys. Everybody at Warner Brothers, y'all do y'all thing here. Leave DC alone. Just like Disney lets Kevin Feige do his thing. Not really, but that's kind of how it's set up. So he finally has his own division. The question was, who's going to run it? Who is a Kevin Feige-like person? Well, there is no Kevin Feige-like person. But getting a person like a producer like Peter and then teaming him up with a visionary and a director like James Gunn is the closest you could get without actually getting Kevin Feige itself. You got a person who has a history of knowing how to run a studio, and a person who's a visionary, which is exactly what Kevin Feige is. So this to me is
James Gunn's done movies for both sides.
Yeah, that's the funny thing you brought that up, because that's what people thought. Like, is this the thing that's going to bridge the gap? Is Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers and Disney going to finally get together for Marvel versus DC? No, it's not happening. James Gunn is now an executive of a studio for Warner Brothers. He is no longer going to make any further movies for Disney and Disney. That's it. He is an exclusive executive for Warner Brothers. He is going to make all of his movies. Now, the only other conflict of interest that I thought that might be in play would be, because somebody brought this up earlier. I mean, he still wants to direct. He's still a director at heart. Mm-hmm. He's the executive of a studio. What's just stopping him from just giving himself the director roles? Do you think that's an issue?
I mean, I'm assuming. I mean, I really just depends on what did they come to him to specifically say? Do they, what was his instructions?
Well, for him to be in charge of the DC movies in collection with the TV shows and animation moving for just the way Marvel is doing it. You are in charge of our cinematic universe, our television tie-ins, just the same way he's already been doing it. When he was fired from Marvel and then hired by Warner Brothers, they said you can pick whatever movie you want, and he chose Suicide Squad. And then the Suicide Squad, even though it did premiere on the theaters and in HBO Max, it didn't do that well, but it was better received than the original movie. And he convinced him to do a spinoff with Peacemaker, which people thought was a mistake. But it turned out to be one of the best shows, if not the best show that DC's ever done. So to be in charge of those things.
You would hope that their thinking is, all right, we know what Kevin Feige does for Marvel, and we need our...
Like, do that, but do it better.
We need that over here as well.
Yeah, exactly what they're doing.
So you're going to get to obviously help direct different things, like as be behind the scenes to give creative input, but you would assume he would be hiring people to do all that.
Exactly. That's 100% right.
2 cents in because I'm the head.
Right.
So I get to put in some little things that I want to do.
Some nuggets.
But it's not. I'm not running.
I'm not.
You're going to get to do
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly. See, with Peter and with James, James is not dumb. He's not gonna. There's not gonna be a conflict of interest. It's exactly what Joy just said. He's not gonna give himself every director. He could, he could, but he's not. He's not gonna do it because he's not gonna have time. Now that he's in charge of this studio, he's not gonna have time. He's going to look for directors that fit the project best. That's going to fit in his and Peter's vision of where the DCEU, the direction that they wanted to go moving forward. He's not gonna James Gunn everything up. He's not gonna everything's not gonna be Guardians of the Galaxy. Everything is not gonna be Suicide Squad with these James Gunnisms. He better at least. It's gonna be the direction and that's where Peter comes in to probably balance it out, because I kind of would be worried that the DCU would be too, because I love James Gunn's crazy vision and stuff. I would not want that for Wonder Woman 3. I would not want that at all. So, and then on top of that, you think you're gonna tell, who's the director of Wonder Woman again? What's her name again? Is it Patty Jenkins? You're not gonna tell her. You ain't gonna tell her to James Gunn it up. No, she gonna tell you go screw your go. Yeah, go fuck yourself. No, this is my franchise. Like, it'll fit in the direction that you want the DCU to go, but it's going to be my movie. You're not going to tell her that, and you'd be stupid to do it. So, and James Gunn is not stupid. Just the fact that he did a movie, he did a successful TV series, and was willing to lend his voice in the Harley Quinn cartoon, playing himself, stuff like that. Like, he knows how to play in the universe and build a universe. Kevin Feige wanted him to be in charge of Marvel's the part of the MCU that's all about the the space and the like Guardians of the Galaxy type stuff moving forward, and so to be in charge of the storylines of all that stuff, not the Earth grounded stuff, but the big epic space stuff. He wanted that. So James Gunn was being vetted by Kevin Feige to be a protege or a mini-me of him. But so it's a good pick. In the stunning turn of events, filmmaker James Gunn and producer Peter Safran has been tapped to lead DC Films' TV and animation efforts as co-chairs or co-CEO. And I put it on social media. Do you need to go? Is it at the front door yet?
It's there, but there.
Oh, you can get it so it doesn't get like bugs on it and stuff. We ordered. I put it on myself. We ordered food, guys. So it's at the DoorDash is there at the front door. But yeah, so I got the camera on me. They won't be able to see you sink away. Joy's abandoning me, guys, because we got food at the front door. Don't worry. Don't worry. They can't see you. That's just a delay. Now let's put the camera back on that empty chair. Look at me. Left me. You see that? When I need her the most. But I put it on social media. Who's the D and who's the C? I was a little joke. Like, I want y'all to put that in the box. You got two people. As co-chairs. I mean, but when there's one decision, but what happens when James Gunn and Peter see something totally different? Are they gonna flip a coin? Who's going to be all right, maybe this time we'll go your way, maybe this time we'll go your. Who's going to be the final say? Who's the D and who's the C? If you get that joke, put a thumbs up in the chat. Who's the D and who's the C of this between James and Gunn? I don't know. Maybe it's James. Everybody's gonna, because everybody knows James more. They're gonna say it's James. Maybe it's Peter. I mean, his name is Peter. But anyway, that's a stupid joke. The unprecedented move in which a top director will assume top executive post marks the end of the monthly-long search by Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav to replace DC Films and Walter Hamada. Everybody was getting nervous about Warner Brothers making all those cuts and stuff. David Zaslav obviously wants DC Films to succeed. And they said that when the critics that said that they saw Batgirl, it did not fit with what we want to show the people as quality films. everybody got pissed off about it because we just want to see what a Batgirl movie would look like, and we want what's his name? George of the Jungle. I forgot his name. What's his name again, babe? George of the Jungle. Brandon Fraser. Yeah, we just want to root for Brandon Fraser. But if the movie sucked, then the movie sucked. We can't say that David Zaslav was making a huge mistake and messing everything up because he axed our little pet project that we were cheering for, that we wanted to see. We wanted to support her as Batgirl. We wanted to support Brandon Fraser. But if the critics were saying that it sucked, executives like to lie and say every movie that they make is great all the time. But if they even admitted that this is not that good, then it probably wasn't that good. But I don't hear any of that now, that with this big move and making this decision moving forward, the stuff that we're going to get moving forward after they take over on November the 1st, it shows that they're really taking this seriously. You got a visionary like James Gunn. I don't think James Gunn's going to really let people down. And just to close the show, in recent weeks, I'm sorry, let me switch it up. There we go. We're back. Let me see, full page. In recent weeks, Gunn and Safran was spotted on the Warner Brothers lot meeting with Warner Brothers film co-chair Michael DeLuca about future projects. And according to the sources, the internal overture of Safran and Gunn came from DeLuca over the summer, even as the studio was in shaky talks with producers Dan Leno to take the job. Gunn will focus on creative side of things, while Safran will focus on business. That's the dynamic. So I'm assuming that Safran is the final say. If they ever disagree on something, they're both equal chairs, but if they both disagree, who's the final say? I'm going to say, I mean...
It says everything gets reported up directly to Zaslav.
That's okay. That makes sense. If those two disagree, because my question was who's the D and who's the C of DC, then yeah, that makes sense. Zaslav, the axe of Zaslav is the tiebreaker. I want to go left. Gunn wants to go right. What do you say, Dave? No, let's go left. That makes sense. It'll hopefully that won't cause any infighting or any, because these guys have been working together for years. They've been friends. They've a lot of movies that they've produced. They got a lot of DC movies that Safran has been a part of and stuff. So he's and they've worked together a long time. So they've got a good. It wasn't a bad idea to put them together like this because they have a long, good working relationship. They for all we know, they're probably best friends. And they better be, because with all this great power comes great responsibility. So it's gonna be a test. In the next 2 years, the next couple of projects that are coming up, I'm gonna be excited moving forward on what's gonna come out of DC. Now, it took them 10 years, but now, after the head start that Marvel had with starting with their cinematic universe a couple of years before the DCU was even launched with Man of Steel, 10 years later, for the first time now, it feels like they're going to be on a path with bringing back Henry Cavill, with the projects that they are still pushing to the theaters, Blue Beetle and things like that, with Joker 2 coming out. It now feels like DC is now going to be elevated to the standards that the potential is there for it to be the standards that Marvel has set for filmmaking for comic book movies. At least hopefully there'll be less. It sucks. It's not like Marvel. Why can't it be more? I don't want it to be like Marvel, but I want it to be. I want quality and I want it to be good. Those two still fighting. Anyway. Last thing before I let it go. Can we now say that this is the end of the whole bring back the Snyderverse? Bring the Snyderverse. This is it. This is the Snyderverse is now, to me, the Snyderverse is now officially dead. This is now the Gunn Safran verse now, the DCEU. It is no longer moving forward from this day moving forward, even with Zack Snyder's actors that he hired from the foundation that Zack. It is always going to be the Snyderverse as a foundation, but moving forward, I'm not going to call it the Snyderverse anymore. Like that is not happening. He doesn't want to come back. We got James Gunn. it's the Gunnerverse now. Like let it. I feel like the whole fever dream that Zack Snyder could one day come back is a fish. Maybe Gunn may be willing to hire Snyder in the future if he's willing to come back for a future project. I wouldn't have a problem with it, but moving forward, no, I'm never going to call it the Snyderverse ever again. That's just how I see it. So let me know what you guys think about this whole thing. Are you excited about the DCU moving forward? DC Films as a studio, finally that there's direction. Do you think it's a mistake having two heads as the lead? There should just be one. There should only be one. Let us know in the box below moving forward, and maybe